Okay, I'm back. I'll show you the lines that I scratched. Oh, I'm also gonna show you. Oh, here, broguing. Look at that. Look how terrible of a job I did actually. So this looks all right. I mean, it's a little uneven, but then bam, that one. What the fuck happened there? It did. I did not. I don't know. I flinched at the last second or something. Didn't go deep enough. I have some of these crimpers. There's actually this like little slide tool right here to set the depth. So it actually makes it pretty easy and quick. So you just kind of set the depth to the right one. Bam, 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 bam. And I don't know. I just messed that one up. The depth was not correct. I mean, the depth was correct. I just didn't have it all the way pressed against the thing, and that's gonna haunt me. But I don't think you'll be able to see it that much. I have a feeling. I remember when I did this broguing, I was thinking, wow, that looks terrible. And it, like, once it's actually, like, all stitched together on the shoe, you don't notice, like, the little bits of it that are kind of wonky. Hole was as bad as that one, but hey, wabi sabi. So yeah, so I went through and I did the scratching. I'm sorry again that I can't find my tripod, so I can't have you guys watch me scratch these things. So here's the heel cap. Scratched 2 stitching lines all around the back. You can see them pretty well, I think. Doesn't have to be deep. It's just enough that you can like see what you're doing. Some stitching lines, 2 here. A big one, a small one there. Big one, a small one there. And 1 around the back, just for a little stitching aid later. Exact same on this side. So those are the only 3 panels that need those stitching lines scratched, because now, because all the other panels that have stitching go through them, it's all going to be going in through this side and coming out the other side. So you don't need the lines on the back side just because poking through no matter what. So, but next is I'm gonna use a piece of scrap because I'm holding the camera again. But we're using this guy. This is a 3 millimeter pricking roller. I don't know. Kind of like pricking roller. Sure, we'll call it that. I was gonna say fudge wheel, but that's a completely different thing. Fudge wheel, I have one. I can show it to you guys later, maybe if I end up using it. But that's not what this is. This is about figuring out where you're gonna put your stitches. So like on these lines right here, the only reason I'm not doing it on camera is because I want to be paying more attention when I actually do it. But I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna find that line, I'm gonna get one of these pricks like right down like where I want it, so there's a little gap to the edge, and then I'm gonna set it in there, and then I'm gonna press fairly hard, and I'm gonna come by, and this is gonna slide. This is not gonna roll with how hard I'm pressing, but let's see, watch this trick. Foot on the table, so I'm gonna get the line, I'm gonna put it in there, and then I'm gonna, oh, maybe I'm not stepping on this as hard as I thought it was. Okay. Get the line, put it on there. I'm gonna trace the line with this. And it's gonna leave these little marks, these little pricks, just kinda like what we did with the broguing. It doesn't have to actually push that hard, it's pretty sharp. But anyway, so you see those. Those are gonna be my stitching points. I'm gonna do that all across all the seams. Some people like to do irons, and you're probably better off using stitching irons if you are doing, let me go show you what stitching iron is, how that works. Going out to the outside, and going through the mess, going through the garbage, into the garage. I cleaned up my workspace a little bit. I got all these like magnet tool holders up here and down here. And, oops, it's not plugged in. So, come on, that light actually takes time to boot up, which is really weird to me. You plug it in and it takes a minute. So you got two kinds of hammers. You have a rawhide hammer and one of these circular nylon hammers. I got one because everyone seemed to use one, but I don't really know why. Still probably a little bit better with the nylon hammer. I don't know. If anybody knows why I should be using a circular one instead of the flat one on the rawhide, please tell me, because I think I'm supposed to be, but I don't know particularly why. But anyway, these stitching irons, which I'm not going to be using, look like this. And see, they have these like angled stitches. That's going to help your stitches set really well, because they're going to get that cool like slanty thing, because they're going to come in at the bottom of this angle and come back out at the top of that angle. And so it makes them not look all bunched up and makes them not look all uniform. And you're going to, some people will take these, and I do this on my other projects, but I'm not doing it on this project. But you get them on that line. You don't use that pricking wheel. Like, the pricking wheel is not required when you're doing these guys, because you're going to get it, and this is just a different size and different little shape. It's a little bit bigger of a hole. These are similar to the broguing ones. This is actually part of the set that I used for the broguing thing. But this is a fancy one. This is more slanted, slimmer profile cuts, and more of them per inch. I got this off Amazon, a set of these for like 22 bucks. They're pretty cheap ones. I'd like to get better ones someday, but not right now. Don't need them. So anyway, you're going to go into the leather. You have this board down here, this poundo board or whatever it's called, that absorbs so you don't damage the tip of the tool once it goes through the leather. And a lot of times you'll end up, you can see how this is all messed up. I actually use this on top of the poundo board so it sticks in this after it goes through a piece of leather. But yada yada yada. Get a piece of my scrap bag. You'll come in here. You will set this up, and this is not going to be a great video, but give it a few pounds. You come back out, and it leaves these holes in here. You want to pound all the way through. So, well, some people don't pound through. Some people only make the marks so that they can then poke through with an awl later. But I usually pound all the way through. And then you can use those for very straight, uniform stitching. And then, just a tip, since I'm here anyway, when you're doing the next set of them, to make sure that the thing lines up twice, you, instead of just like trying to eyeball it and do a whole nother row, you want to set the last two teeth in the previous holes that you set. And it helps you, takes a little more time because you're losing 2 holes per punch, but it helps you keep things nice and straight. As you go forward. Sorry, I was looking for the other tool. My brain froze. But yeah, it helps keep things nice and straight. And usually you want a set that has a lot of teeth. You want one piece that has a lot of teeth and one that has only 2 teeth, because you're going to use that 2 teeth one as you're making turns, because obviously if you have to make a rounded corner, this isn't going to work. You take this and you go bap, 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 and then you take the one, when you start to angle, you take the one with 2 teeth and just kind of make your way around. You get it. Anyway, that's not even this project, so whatever. But Rupert. So yeah, I'm gonna come back through, and I'm gonna use those marks for stitching instead of using that tool. It's gonna keep my stitches still evenly spaced for clean stitching, but I'm gonna be poking through them with a sharpened awl that I have. And here is my X-Acto knife that I said I was using for cutting this time around. It's already starting to dull a little bit after doing 2 pairs of shoes, but it's actually really nice. I'm a big fan of it. It makes me want to get a similar, it's very nice because you can hold it like a pencil and you can really just draw your shapes and you can get nice good curves on it, compared to using the utility knife or the round knife, which are both bigger tools. Makes me want to get one of the Vargas Blanchard or whatever they're called, indispensable knives that are like X-Acto knives, but you can keep sharpening them and they're reusable. I mean, X-Acto knives are reusable, but you have to buy new blades. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now, what's next? I'm probably going to, next video I'm gonna skive this down, and I'll explain why we're doing that, because we're gonna thin that out. I'm gonna then close these two heel pieces together. I am gonna use the punching tools to punch out the stitches that we're using to close these together, just because we're not gonna see those stitches. So I can go nice and quickly with the punching tools. And I'm going to stitch the cap toe onto this, but all of this is going to require me finding my tripod.